Hi all, and welcome to week 5. So this week, what you will be doing in the lab class is you will be learning about evaluating and integrating sources. And this should help you out quite a lot with what we're doing in the regular 1301 class. In that class, you're writing your career research paper, and you'll be expected to evaluate and integrate sources in that one. So this will walk you through the process of doing that. It'll show you a lot of skills that will also help you on that paper. So what we're going to do is I have a few different source pieces of material for you to read. This first one covers how to evaluate sources. This one covers how to integrate them in MLA into your paper, how to introduce them, how to cite them, and this one covers how to write works cited citations. So first of all, what I'm going to do is go to this one first, evaluating sources, and this one, this article talks about how to evaluate a source and make sure that it is good. So when you're coming up with sources in college, you want those sources to be people that know what they're talking about, not just convincing people, but people that are experts in their field, that are using lots of outside sources themselves, that have their information backed up by a lot of different things, that aren't biased, that are not trying to sell you something, that are trying to help you. And so this document is designed to help you determine if a source is credible or not. And if we go down here, we can see the proven method, which is what they're going with. There are other different ones. There's the CRAPP test that a lot of people are familiar with. I like this one a little better. So for the proven method, you need to determine what the purpose of your article is. Is it trying to inform? Is it trying to get you to change your behavior? Is it trying to sell you something? There can be many different purposes for an article. Ideally, this would be one that's trying to inform you and give you a lot of information. Relevance, is it relevant to what you're talking about? Is it a source that is on the same topic as you? Objectivity, is the author biased in any way? Would they have a reason to be biased? And how do you know or not know that? Are there different sides to this issue? Sometimes objectivity isn't as big of a deal as others, but especially in like political articles, you're going to need to check for this. Verifiability. So does the author use evidence to support what they're saying? And a good author will. A good author will use outside sources to back up what they're doing the same way I'm asking you guys to do. You don't want people who are just coming up with things off the top of their head to be what you're going off of. You want them to be people that are learned and have read a lot of information and use that to create the writing that they're writing. Expertise. Does the author know about the topic that they're writing about? Are they an expert in this field, or are they just repeating what they've heard other people say? And the newness is how old is this article? Is it up to date? And most stuff on the internet this will be fine for. But like if you were writing about COVID-19, for example, you wouldn't want an article from 2008 because there were coronaviruses in 2008, but it wouldn't be the one you were writing about. Okay, so that's the proven method. And for your assignment today, the first thing that you're going to do is you are going to find an article online about the topic you wrote your essay last time about, your essay in the 0301 class, and you're going to evaluate it based on the proven method rather. So mine was the one about rabbits and how they are destructive and messy, and this is the article that I found about that. Oh, I already opened it. This is an article called The Perks and Pitfalls of Rabbits, an Honest Guide. And so to evaluate this one, to take this through the proven method, purpose. I've read over this article, and the purpose is they are trying to inform you about whether you want to actually own a rabbit or not. This place doesn't sell rabbits. They don't have like rabbit products that they're trying to sell you. They're not, there isn't a whole bunch of advertisements all over this page. So those are all good things that show me that this is a article that is trying to inform me. Relevance, obviously it's relevant to what I'm writing about. Objectivity, that's hard to determine with this, but I'm going to go ahead and say that this is pretty objective because the lady who is writing this is an expert on rabbits. We'll get to that when we get to what her expertise is, but she is a house rabbit educator for 3 decades and is a very passionate person about rabbits. So if she does have a bias, it is because she loves rabbits. So verifiability, she does have a lot of sources on here that you can see. However, most of these sources do go back to the same organization, rabbit.org, which means they are coming from the same source that's producing them. So that's both good and bad. There are a lot of sources here, but they are all from, most of them are from this website. I don't have to have all of these be perfect, though. I just, for this assignment, need to be honest about whether they are good sources or not. Expertise I already covered. She is a rabbit expert who's worked for 30 years, at least according to this website, and she's the founder of rabbits.org and is an educator on rabbits, knows a lot about rabbits, obviously. Newness, this one's hard to figure out because a lot of times there will be a date somewhere on here that would say when this was published, and we don't have that. It's sometime in the last 3 decades. But that's okay. All I have to do is say that. So on my assignment here, I've written all of that stuff that I just said. And like I said, if you can't find a date on here, it's fine. Just say that for newness. If you can't prove expertise because there isn't an author, just say that there's not an author. All right. So the next part here is working to integrate sources in MLA. Let me open this up so that I can show you guys both at the same time. So this is a PDF, and it covers different ways to integrate your sources in your text. And I cover a couple of them in the example that I have here. But what this part is talking about is citing your sources in the text. You're going to have 2 different citations. One will be in your works cited at the very bottom of the page, but every time you use a quote or a fact from your source, you're going to include an in-text citation, and you may mention the author and where it came from and stuff like that. So, yeah, there's 2 different ways to do this. You can either do a signal phrase where you say, according to so-and-so, author of such and such, and then you have whatever it is that they said. Maybe a quote or a paraphrase where you put it in your own words. And then after that, you will have any citation information that you need left over. So like this one here, according to Anne Lamott, author of Bird by Bird, readers need to have friends read their work before submitting it. And so they have a page number here in their to show where this came from in the book. But they have mentioned an author up here, so they don't need to include that. Typically, you would have an author and page number in this citation, but if you've already mentioned the author, you don't have to have it. On the other hand, down here, this one, she has a quote, and at the end of it, she has the author and page number because she didn't mention the author anywhere. For your own, like in this one doesn't have any pages. So if I'm citing this, then I would either put her last name at the very end in parentheses, or I would mention her and who she is in my text. And so read over this. This will help you a lot with figuring out how to put sources into your papers. And then if we go down here, we can see how I did it. And I've color-coded this in blue so that you can see it. This first one uses a signal phrase where I say, according to Paige E. Parsons, a rabbit expert and co-founder of rabbits.org. And then I have the quote that she gave. They will nibble everything from furniture to electric cords if given the chance, and one chance is all it takes for the computer cable to get chomped in two. And believe me, that is true. So that's how to do it with a signal phrase. If there were page numbers, I would have the page number right here in parentheses. But this one, on the other hand, I have just included the quote, and then I gave her last name in parentheses. So my quote starts here. Their playful digging behavior can also result in bedding and litter being flung out of their enclosures, creating a mess around their living space. And then in parentheses here, I've included her last name because I haven't mentioned that anywhere. So what you're going to need to do is find a quote for each of your paragraphs, and somewhere in the article that you've chosen, and use that in your paper. Just insert it wherever it feels like it would work. Make sure that it's ones about the same topics that your paragraphs are about. Finally, I need to write an MLA citation. And this is Purdue OWL. You've probably seen this in the other class before, but it shows you a guide for how to write the kinds of citations that you're expected to write in MLA. And it's important that you learn how to do this before you start using the citation machines and stuff like that. So I recommend going through the process of creating a citation before using like the Google ones for this or whatever. So if you want to check your work, you can use the Google citations to see if you got it right. But if you submit it and it's wrong, I'm just going to point it out. I'm not going to take points off. So first of all, you need to have, so I'm going to show you how to do it with this one. Let me open up a Word doc. You won't be able to see a Word doc. Let me open up a Google Doc. All right. So the first thing I need is the author's name. First and middle initial comes after the last name. So it would be Parsons, comma, Paige K. So let's write it like that. All right, and then we'll have a period and a space. The next is the title of our source. Our source is an article from a website, and so we're not going to cite it like a book because it's not a book. We're going to scroll down to this one here, and this shows us that for individual web pages, we'll put it in quotation marks. So, oops, I can close this. All right, Perks and Pitfalls of Rabbits, an Honest Guide. And I'm going to put that in quotation marks. And there's a period at the end of that. We should have the and sign instead of and. All right. Next, we need where it came from. So title of container means what this article was in. The article itself is Perks and Pitfalls of Rabbits, an Honest Guide. The container is rabbits.org Foundation. So we're going to write that out here, and that is going to be in italics. The larger container that something comes in, like a book or a movie, is going to be in italics. The smaller article or chapter or scene or something like that is going to be in quotes. So this is the, what do we call this again? Rabbits.org Foundation. And we're going to do italics, Control I. And we will have a comma after that. And we can take this hyperlink out. I don't really care if it's in there, but I'm going to remove it so that everything's the same color. All right, so that's the title of the container. Other contributors. This doesn't have other contributors. This doesn't have other versions. This doesn't have other numbers. Publisher in this case will be exactly the same as the website, because it's still rabbits.org. If it was a New York Times article and it was published by the Associated Press, then the publisher would be Associated Press and the container would be New York Times, or vice versa. So we don't need that. Publication date. So we don't have a date for this one because it doesn't actually say a date on here anywhere, which means we are going to go with the year that we are in right now. So just 2026. If you can search around on here and you find a date and it says October 1997 or whatever, put the day, month, and year, whatever is there. You do need a year though, and if you don't have one, just put 2026. Publication location. If this had page numbers, we would put that here. And then optional elements. Yeah, we don't need any of this. The date accessed and the URL we do need. So the URL is this part right here. So after our comma that we just had, that will go next. Let me check this actually. Yeah, 2026, comma, and then a period, and then we will say the access date. So the date accessed will just be today's date. How did I put that? Yeah. They like to do it the British way. So we'll do 24 March 2026. There's two, if you want to indent this correctly, I probably went over this in the other class. You're going to go to where it says align and indent, indentation options. Leave these as zeros. In this one, you will do hanging. and in this one you'll put 0.5. Hanging indentation means that it will indent every line after the first one. And this is how works cited citations are supposed to look. And then we need to double space. So for that, format, line and paragraph, double. And so once you've done that, you can copy this in right underneath your essay in the assignment page. So what you need for this, you need your provide method explanation of what makes your article credible. You need your essay from last time with 2 quotes in it from your article that you just found. And you need a works cited at the bottom. If it's not indented correctly and stuff, I don't really care about that. I just want all of the parts to be there. All right, once you've turned all of that in, you'll be done with this part for this week. And the last thing that you will need to do is this right here. This is a tutor.com writing center session. So for this part, what you can do is if you are available between 9 and 3 Monday through Thursday, or between 9 and 12 on Friday, you can get in touch with the Writing Center here on campus. There are links to that on the websites. Let me go to those. If you go down to Writing Studio, and I'll include this actually in this assignment here so that you can get to it. There will be a link that isn't there yet. But that's the best way to do this. They can, what they'll do is they'll go over your essay from the other class, and they will help you edit it and turn it into something that'll get you a higher grade. You're using your career research paper for this, not the one that you just worked on in this part. That's just for practice. So take your career research paper as a Google Doc, and if you're available between those times, you can get in touch with them through this link. They can do a Zoom session. They can talk with you over the phone. They can look at your Google Doc and make notes on it or give you feedback. They can do it entirely through text if you want. But whatever works for you, that's a very good way to get feedback on your writing studio, on your research paper. If you are not available during those times, your other option is to use tutor.com. And tutor.com is available in the Start Here folder. I'll show you where that is right now. It's at the very top, and you will scroll down and it says tutor.com QEP right here. So tutor.com is like a tutoring service that's available 24 hours a day. You get 4 free hours of it with both of your English classes that you're in right now. And they can go over your research paper with you, give you feedback as well. They're not as good as the Writing Studio because they don't actually know me and my expectations, but they will connect you with an English teacher somewhere in the country, and they'll help you go over your paper. So for this class, that is a requirement of the class. This is worth 10% of your overall grade for the class that you do one of those 2 things. They will send you a receipt in your email, and you will just send that to me so that I can show that you've actually done that. Okay, so that's your assignments for this week. All right. If you have any questions, this is a lot, I'm sorry. If you have any questions, send me a message and I'll clarify things. Good luck, guys. Get to work, and I will see you guys in the next one.